Hello everyone, my name is AZZATRU and welcome to another Star Wars Battlefront news video. This video is going to be very interesting as I have some news to share regarding the next Star Wars Battlefront game, the return of Rogue Squadron, and much more. I'm not wanting to make videos on leaks, but this leak has been building up some traction as of the last couple of days, plus it has a lot of details going with it. This video is going to contain rumoured information with no sufficient evidence any part of it is legitimate, and I will be giving counter-arguments to certain things as to why it could be fake, plus some details may be wrong at the end of the day as well in general without actually being fake. I hope you enjoy this video and make sure you subscribe to my channel to stay up to date with Star Wars Battlefront news updates from me regularly, and this includes the next Star Wars Battlefront game coming out this year. Just after Christmas, a post was made to the Nintendo Switch subreddit and later removed. It had also previously been removed from the Nintendo subreddit. The Rio Gino, who is the person that made the post, has been saying stuff about the Nintendo Switch for a while. The post itself is well over 4,000 words long and has a lot of detail. At the start, the Rio Gino claims to work within marketing and have similar sources to Laura, the woman who has been spot on with information about the Nintendo Switch even prior to its reveal when it was just the NX. That was a bit of background information, but now let's move on to the more interesting information. Battlefront 2. In a section dedicated to EA games coming to the Switch, it reads, EA also has plans to bring Star Wars Battlefront 2 Wrath of the First Order to the Nintendo Switch Holiday 2017. Nintendo also wants to work with EA to make two special Nintendo Switch bundles, one themed after the First Order and one themed after the Resistance, with the game packed in. Why such love? Nintendo has given EA and Criterion Games a dream offer, having Nintendo and Disney help fund, distribute and quality control a spiritual successor to the Star Wars Rogue Squadron series exclusive for the Nintendo Switch after 2017. So let's break this down. The Rio Gino claims the next Star Wars Battlefront game coming out this year will be called Star Wars Battlefront 2 Wrath of the First Order. Now this implies it will be set in the sequel era as expected, but the subtitle Wrath of the First Order does seem a little bit flat to me, and I don't think that is what it's going to be called, but I could be completely wrong. This is just pure speculation. Next up, Nintendo want two bundles containing the Switch and the game, one Resistant themed and the other First Order branded for Holiday 2017. It is unclear if the consoles will look different, but, it's going to be something similar along the lines with the PlayStation 4 bundle, which we saw for the Star Wars Battlefront game that released in 2015. The reason why Nintendo would like to do this is to get people to buy a Switch with the hype of the game and the Episode 8 film just before Christmas or for presents at Christmas. This is interesting because PlayStation currently have the marketing rights to Battlefront. There was a Battlefront console, like I said, and it was released alongside Battlefront PlayStation-themed adverts at the end of 2015. We don't know how long this deal between Sony and EA was for, but I doubt it has ended after one game, and I wouldn't be surprised to see it for the next game later this year. This puts further doubt over Battlefront 2 Switch bundles and the validity of this information. Furthermore, Nintendo will apparently help fund a spiritual successor to the Rogue Squadron game series and have it a Switch exclusive in 2018 or beyond. Criterion Games, the studio behind the speeder bikes in the base game of Star Wars Battlefront and the VR mission, which recently released with the Rogue Scarif update, will be working supposedly on this game, and it does make sense because they've done amazing vehicle work in the past and they've proven their worth with Battlefront this year. We've not seen a Rogue Squadron game in over a decade, and I'm sure many people that were around at that time who enjoyed the series would want a revival. It's one of the requested retro games people would like to see back in the EA Star Wars family. Now, just to point a few things out, in the Reddit post, it says Mass Effect Andromeda will be on the system for launch. A producer on the game did say a few days ago, actually, they are not planning to bring Andromeda to the Switch. He did say that if there is a demand, who knows? And this suggests the information about Mass Effect coming to the Switch in this Reddit post is false unless the producer is straight out lying. Of course, he wouldn't be able to say anything that hasn't been announced yet, but it does not really put this post in a good state. Also, it states that LoveFilm, the streaming app in the UK, is coming to the Switch. However, LoveFilm does not have a streaming service in the UK, and it's now owned by Amazon, has been for a couple of years, so that's entirely false. So in conclusion, the supposed leak appears to be false in many ways, and it does really put the credibility of the Rio Gino on the line, and we will find out soon if this is legitimate though. On Friday 13th this month, which is next Friday at the time of recording this video, Nintendo are doing a live presentation with an in-depth look at games and more for the Nintendo Switch. If a lot of the stuff from this leak comes to fruition within this presentation, we can't put the Battlefront 2 info into the bin of fake leaks just yet. Not to mention in April, just after the Switch's release, we should see the first of Star Wars Battlefront 2, whatever it will be called, the 2017 game releasing later this year at Star Wars Celebration. So we could see an announcement there if it was to be legitimate. But I'm reserving my judgment until we know more next Friday. Fingers crossed for something to come about Star Wars and EA at this event because, you know, I really want to get the Nintendo Switch and I would love it to get some Star Wars games on the move. And we'll just have to wait and see. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about this leak, whether it is real, whether it's not. What games would you like to see on the Nintendo Switch? Are you excited for it? I personally am. I have not had a Nintendo console since the Wii and the DS Lite, but I am ready to come back if the console is good enough. Thanks for watching again, and I shall see you all in my next Star Wars Battlefront video. Make sure to check out the other two videos on screen right now if you did miss them, and goodbye.